Well, hello, good evening, and welcome to the program. This is Daily Politics on Trust TV, your go-to platform for everything politics, policy, and governance. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. Tonight on the program, we put the spotlight on developing issues within the polity, especially looking at the conversation for 2027. Well, most recently, some cracks have become visible within the APC, especially considering recent remarks over the events of 2015, the cracks between the Tinubu men and former President Muhammadu Buhari loyalists. It all began with a bold claim from Boss Mustafa, the former secretary to the government of the Federation, who said President Ahmed Tinubu did not essentially make President Muhammadu Buhari president back in 2015. But that didn't go unanswered, because from the president's circle, Temitope Ajayi, the presidential media aide, fired back in a social media post insisting that without the current president, then President Muhammadu Buhari would never have clinched the APC presidential ticket to begin with. The exchange has reignited talks of political cracks within the APC, with many supporters divided over who deserves credit for the victory of 2015 and what it means for power dynamics heading into the future. Well, join us in the studio to respond to some of these questions is the man at the center of it all. Temitope Ajayi, the president's media aide, is here with us this evening to provide some context to the conversation. It's good to see you again. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you. Good evening, viewers.
Right. Some would say this is a needless back and forth. Maybe he didn't even need to respond to the former secretary to the government of the Federation. What's the motivation to clarify the comments he made at that book launch?
Well, I think it's important to start by saying that contrary to what you said in your introductory remarks, there is no crack in APC. Oftentimes, even in a family, husband and wife or our children, they can express different views about certain family matters. So really, the fact that people disagree or express different point of view over certain issue does not necessarily translate to a crack. I think it's important to clarify that. So, well, like I said, it's not something we really want to continue to dwell on. And the former SGF, Boss Mustafa, who is a senior party person and is shifting, he has come out to provide a more nuanced explanation or context to what he said. And those who were actually at the event 2 days ago, they have actually also said that he was quoted or reported out of context, because when he was actually speaking, I understand that he gave a caveat that he knew he was going to be misquoted or misinterpreted before he made that remark. So I don't think he made that remark in a way from the account of those who were in the hall. I wasn't in the hall. I relied on
second-hand information?
No, on media report from Daily Trust, Vanguard, and all of other mainstream media outfits. Their reportage of what happened. But those who were there actually said some of those, and Gabashew himself, who was the chief host, actually provided a better context to what the man said, and that it was reported out of context. So I really don't think it's something we should be dwelling on.
But
that one has gone. So let's focus on other things. There are better things to discuss in the politics.
People in the presidency, like you, for instance, made it a big deal.
No, we didn't make it a big deal. We didn't make it a big deal. We just felt that, okay, if somebody said what is not what people... This is a recent history. This thing happened about 10 years ago. So some of us were participants, active participants. So if somebody said what one considers to be factually incorrect, so there might be a reason to set the record straight. But like I said, not something we really need to dwell on. Let's move on. There are better things to discuss.
Yeah, okay. Just on a final note on this one, because I think it's symbolic of what you disregard as a crack, but obviously this sort of unfriendly comments between Buhari's men and the president's men. But look at this and tell me what you think about it. I know you must have read about it. One of President Muhammadu Buhari's former aides. This is what Loreto Onoche tweeted, right? And she also said to add her own, President Tinubu did not even support Buhari's emergence.
I've seen what she posted or tweeted yesterday or 2 days ago. Really, that is farcical and very laughable. The truth of the matter is, where was she in 2014 or 2013 when the merger between the legacy parties that form APC was consummated? She wasn't in Nigeria. She
was talking about the primaries.
She was in Nigeria then. She wasn't in Nigeria. She wasn't part of the campaign. So when did she? Please, I don't want to dwell on what she said. Please, let's just focus on the important things. I'm sure.
So you think this is?
That's farcical. He's talking nonsense.
Right.
So let's just focus on.
And just focusing on or zooming out a little bit, because there is this public perception because of the recent defections of some members of the APC to join the coalition. Key among them being the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, S.A.N. Malemi, who happened to be one of the former President Muhammadu Buhari's men. There is this perception in the public that Buhari's men are not happy with the way the Tinubu administration are going about shaping the narrative of governance.
I think. What do you mean by shaping the narrative of governance?
Okay, so when you talk about certain policies of government, when you talk about how things are bad, there is this connection between what is bad with what you inherited to the poor performance of the Buhari administration. You're essentially saying the administration of Muhammadu Buhari performed below par, and that's why you're dealing with.
That is not true. The President Tinubu has always been cleared. I'm very emphatic too, even when he was going to campaign for this position, he was clear
about
that President Buhari was successful on many fronts. And he said, I'm going to inherit both the assets and the liabilities of government. See, there's no government anywhere in the world, in human history, and you can quote me on that, and you can fact check me on that, that ticked all the box in every aspect of governance. There's no government in the world, except that must be government of heaven. But if it is government that is run or that has been managed by human beings, there is no government in the world, in human history, that has been successful 100% on everything you can use to assess or judge a government. So nobody will say that Buhari government didn't do well on the scale of 1 to 100. But Buhari government, which is still same APC government, couldn't have done everything perfectly because President Buhari is a human being, and those who served with him are human beings. They are not angels. So they couldn't have got everything perfect. So President Tinubu was clear that I'm going to inherit both the asset. If you're an accountant, of course, coming from his background as an accountant, as an auditor, he was using the language of accounting or language of auditing. There is an asset and there's a liability. So if the president was forthright enough, even when he was campaigning, he didn't detach himself from President Buhari.
Yeah, but to a certain extent, during the campaigns, Mr. Temitope, I remember on record that the president criticized the monetary policy of the CBN under the Buhari administration. He was very emphatic. In fact, he said they don't know what they're doing.
He never said
word for word. That's exactly what the president said.
He never said that. There was a currency redesign policy that was poorly implemented, which shut down the economy for almost 3 months. People were paying to get their own money. So seriously, I don't think we need to dwell on this. I don't want to. I know you guys are looking for clickbait. What are going to use?
Clickbait. We're just trying to get clarity on the relationship.
There is no relationship. No, there is nothing. Nothing has affected President Buhari and President Tinubu. Are perfectly in order with each other. Just your paper reported today that the president sent the vice president to go and see him in London. So does that show that there is a rift between the two of them?
What about the former president's men jumping the ship of the APC to join the coalition?
How many of them? Can you mention? How many? How many? So because President Buhari had, at least as much as I know, 40 ministers. 40 ministers. If 3 or 4 people decided to go and join another party,
you're sure it's just 3 or 4?
I mean, can you mention them?
Right. I mean, they are quite significant.
I said, how many? You are a journalist. You are the one interrogating me. Rufai wasn't President Buhari's minister. He was the governor.
Wasn't President Buhari's man?
So how many of them can you please count? 1 to 5. Can you mention?
I mean, I literally just told you. His Attorney General has jumped ship.
I've just made a factual statement that can be fact-checked.
You're talking about ministers. I'm talking about President Buhari's men.
Okay, how many of his men? Can you just tell me?
The point is, his loyalists
are
leaving the APC.
You just said his loyalists.
Yes.
This is just a matter of semantics. You said his loyalists.
Are you disagreeing that they are not his men?
Hold on. Whether you call them his men, his friend, his loyalists, they're just a matter of semantics. Right. What I'm saying is, how many of them? Can you count up to 10?
Why are you focused on the number?
Because you made it look as if you said President Buhari's men.
Yes.
And I'm saying,
and
how many? Is
that not a fact that they are his men?
How many are they? Can you put a number to them?
I'm making it about the number. I'm making it about his people.
But what I'm just telling you...
Yeah. It's insignificant.
It's totally insignificant. You are just trying to stir up a storm in a teacup. Totally irrelevant. Everybody that served President Buhari will not necessarily serve or be in tune with President Tinubu. Right. They are human beings. They are not robots. They have a right to take their own decision. They are adults. If they feel that their interest or political ambition is no longer served by the party that helped them into prominence, if they feel that it's no longer serving them, they are adults, so they can take their decision. But that does not mean President Buhari himself came out publicly in a public statement signed by Gabashew that I'm still a member of APC, that I will never leave a party that gave me a chance to be president of Nigeria, elected president of Nigeria for 8 years. So I think that settled the matter. Okay,
let's switch gears. In a separate book launch, the vice president made a remark about his experiences as governor of Borno State under the Goodluck administration and how he came close to losing his position as governor, save for the intervention, as he narrated, of the then Attorney General of the Federation, S.A.N. Aduke, right? And a lot of people interpreted, rightly or wrongly, depending on where you stand, that this administration did almost the exact thing, flouting the law by suspending Governor Siminalayi Fubara in Rivers.
Not exactly. Continue.
No, that's the whole point.
But have you seen the statement issued by the Office of the Vice President today?
Yeah, but we've heard from him already. So
I'm asking you.
Do you think the statement has clarified anything?
Yes, that the statement has set straight what he said. What he said was, okay, let me use in a journalistic term. What he said was sensationalized.
How so?
Because there was a nuance, there was a context to what the Vice President said. He was referencing what happened within the context of Boko Haram insurgency as it affected his state. That was a national crisis. The issue of Boko Haram, it was a national, and we are still dealing with it, a national security and existential crisis. Not only to Borno State, but to the whole of Nigeria. Because I remember Boko Haram was attacking even the Federal Capital Territory. 2 bomb blasts went off at Nyanya. UN office in Nigeria was bombed. This day, office at Where is this office now?
I think it should be around the Utako area.
Utako area, yeah, was bombed. So that was a serious issue that needed, the collaboration.
But the Vice President wasn't talking about the Boko Haram. He was specific about his removal from office.
What happened? Why did President, according to the book, according to what the Vice President said, why would President Jonathan contemplate removing him from office?
But the main gist of the story is that the then Attorney General of the Federation told the President, you do not have the powers
the circumstances,
to remove a governor.
The circumstances are different. And I'm going to explain.
So?
Hold on. I'm going to explain. There was an existential threat facing the country. Boko Haram, that had a political agenda. Don't forget, apart from having an ideological problem, ideological agenda, Boko Haram had a political agenda, which was to establish a caliphate in Nigeria, in an Islamic republic in Nigeria, also affiliated to international terrorist franchise, ISIS and Al-Qaeda. So it wasn't a breakdown of governance what happened during that time and what happened in Rivers State are totally different.
Was there a breakdown of governance in Rivers?
If State House Assembly is no longer functioning, that's a breakdown of governance.
Breakdown of governance.
Yes.
You would compare that with 3 states in the northeast being overrun by Boko Haram. A part of northern Adamawa was overtaken by Boko Haram.
So,
a part of Yobe was overtaken by Boko Haram. A part of Borno State. Local governments were overtaken, and you say that is nothing compared to Rivers?
The governmental institutions of Borno State under the then governor Kashim Shettima were functioning well. The House of Assembly was functioning. Judiciary was functioning. See, the government of Nigeria today, under our constitution, operates under the tripod, right? Both at the federal level, at state, even at local government. Don't forget, even local government has a legislative arm by councillors. The local government has speaker. They have a legislative house. So, judiciary wasn't functioning in Rivers State.
How was the judiciary functioning?
Sorry, the legislative arm of government.
You had 2 factions. Martins and Mewule were also holding their own session in a separate location.
Hold on. Even the Supreme Court ruled. This is not an opinion now.
In hindsight.
This is not an opinion.
In hindsight.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Except you are telling me that there was no Supreme Court judgment. That
I'm saying it's after the fact.
How can
because
it be
they were sitting before even the Supreme Court ruled.
Who went to court?
Martins Amewule and his group.
There was no House of Assembly in Rivers State as contemplated by the Nigerian Constitution.
How so?
Can 4 people make an House of Assembly?
That's why I said there were factions.
Which faction?
There is one faction that had 4 members.
I don't think we need to play. Don't let us play. Don't let us play.
But the point of the matter is,
see, what I'm saying, hold on.
If you can just answer this question, Mr. Ajayi. The point of the matter is, the Vice President categorically said, and Nigerians heard him, the whole world heard him, say the then Attorney General told President Goodluck Jonathan, you do not even have the powers to remove local government
I'm not telling you.
Has the law changed now?
I'm not telling you. A Supreme Court has ruled. There was no Supreme Court judgment during that period. But there is a specific, after Supreme Court, where do you want to go?
Okay, so the Supreme Court gave the president the power to suspend the governor.
The Constitution is clear. The Constitution is clear.
About which part? The suspension?
Yes. The Constitution is clear that
there is no part of the Constitution. I stand to be corrected. There is no part of the Constitution where a governor can be suspended.
It's a matter of interpretation. And don't forget that 1,000 lawyers will interpret the same section or the same clause of a statute, law, or constitution differently.
I'm sure the lawyers are listening to you right now, shaking their heads saying, no, they can have an opinion, but they cannot interpret it differently.
They can't. They always do. So why
they can have an opinion about it, but the interpretation is in black and white.
They argue their cases using the same portion of the law differently to judges. And what I'm now even telling you is, this is not a matter of opinion. What happened in Rivers State is a matter of judicial pronouncement. The Supreme Court ruled that there is no functioning government in Rivers State.
Which of the judgment is that?
Go and read it.
I think they talked about the budget.
So how do you want to run a state without budget?
Yeah, but that
was legally passed.
That is not a precursor to suspending the governor.
How is it not a precursor?
Because there is no provision in our constitution that envisage the suspension of a governor. He can be impeached.
There's actually a provision.
Where is that?
There are conditions precedent to declaring a state of emergency in a state.
And but Goodluck did it with Kashim Shettima, Nyako, and the governor, I think Governor Gaidam in Yobe, and they were not suspended. There was a state of emergency in all these 3 states, but they were not suspended from office.
The provision of the Constitution that says the president, in considering a state of emergency, can use, I've forgotten the way it is written, it is actually couched in that Constitution, that I think the
president has a right to, declare a state of emergency if there's a breakdown of law.
Not another.
Right. But it doesn't say anything about removing the governor to do that.
It already
with the consent also of the National Assembly.
But he got
the approval.
He got the approval of the National Assembly
after making the announcement.
No, the Constitution says after he has made the announcement, he go to the Assembly for confirmation.
You don't ask for permission.
No,
after
the Constitution doesn't say he must first of all get the approval of the Assembly before there's no part of the Constitution. Can you refer to that section?
I wish we had all the time to do that. But I just want to segue to one other point.
Yeah.
The other point is that President Goodluck Jonathan listens to counsel. And then he also had people in his government that can tell him the truth. Whereas in this particular case, maybe the president didn't listen to counsel or doesn't have people that would tell him the truth. Mr. President, you can't do this. You can't do it.
One of the most brilliant lawyers in Nigeria.
I don't doubt that. But the point is,
what I'm telling you,
the point is, he doesn't have people in his government that would tell him, Mr. President, you can't do this.
So what is the job of his chief law officer? I think that is, for want of better word to say, that is preposterous. For you to say a president that has...
I'm saying that is the argument people are making because...
No, you shouldn't come on here to come and reiterate that, uninformed argument.
So two cases, right? And we're trying to juxtapose them. Because when the president made the comment, he wasn't trying to compare anybody with anybody. He was basically saying SAN Adoke is a stand-up person because this is what he told.
But I've just told you.
This is what he told his principal.
That is what former Attorney General told his principal. That is him. That is the understanding of the law. President Tinubu has an Attorney General, like I said, who is one of the most brilliant legal minds or lawyers you can ever get anywhere in the world.
Who is not infallible also, don't forget to add that.
So it could also be that former AGF was also not not infallible.
Of course.
So
it goes without saying.
So you can't say his advice was an article of faith. Then the advice of the current Attorney General is faulty. So no,
I'm not implying that. I'm asking you to respond because this is...
Why do I have to respond?
This is the reading of the people.
The reading of people is not a fact. People can read things differently. They understand things differently. Both of us, if you are given a novel to read or a book to read in an exam towards an exam, we are not going to write the same answer.
Not when it comes to the law. It's in black and white.
I've just told you, 1,000 lawyers will give different legal interpretation to the same clause, to the same section of the law or constitution. 1,000 lawyers will give 1,000 different meanings. That is their job.
Not when the law says before you vote you have to be 18. I don't think you can interpret it any.
Don't also forget that lawyers. I'm not a lawyer, but lawyers say the law has that is spirit and letter.
Right.
I mean, letter is when it is what is written black and white. The spirit could be different. The same lawyer said that. Do you agree to that?
I mean, it's your point.
But do lawyers say laws or constitution that is spirit and letter?
The spirit of the law and there's a letter of the law. And that is for judges to apply, not lawyers.
That is why the Supreme Court ruled that what happened pre-state of emergency in Rivers State was an anomalous situation, a situation that should never have happened, a situation that was never contemplated by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
All right. Let's switch gears and talk about what's happening with the political atmosphere in the country.
Okay.
A lot of political narratives and rhetorics about what the coalition is up to and what the administration is dealing with in terms of pressure. They believe the administration is unsettled about what's happening on the coalition side.
How?
Because there's a lot of momentum. I don't know if you noticed.
Which momentum?
Let's roll this video clip. It's from Niger State. I don't know if you got time to see it.
I've not seen. Okay, let's see.
The defection a couple of months ago was towards the APC. Now it's heading towards the ADC.
So who are the people who defected?
Oh, ordinary
Nigerians. So we have.
This is actually from Niger State.
We have. We sure it's not stage managed. Also.
What do you mean?
So what I'm doing?
Okay.
So that is a non-issue.
Ordinary Nigerians joining the ADC, but also there are prominent Nigerians who are in talks with people leading the ADC.
Who are the prominent Nigerians?
Have a look at this picture. It's the interim secretary of the ADC, Rauf Aregbesola, former governor of Osun State, with someone who I believe you will acknowledge is a big weight. Let's roll the picture then, if we have it. Someone from Kano. I believe you're familiar with this this particular individual.
Okay.
Do we have the picture ready?
Looks like you don't have it. So.
Oh, we do have it actually. Just a moment. It's Rabi Musa Konkoso, by the way, in case you're wondering.
So they are politicians.
Still not scared?
Scared by because two politicians had the meeting or they met. So how is that? What's the big deal about that? So what's the big deal?
It could mean that Rabi Musa Konkoso could work with the coalition.
So but all of them worked together in 2019. APCC defeated them. So what are you talking about?
Not in this particular band.
So President Tinubu defeated all of them in last election 2 years ago.
Right.
So what are you talking about?
So you don't think there's anything to worry about?
Why should we worry? At the moment, the president is focused on governance. Election is still 1.5 years away. Why should we be worrying ourselves about that? So the momentum is actually on our side.
You believe that?
Without any iota of doubt.
And talk to me about the perception that the administration is leaning hard on INEC, and that might be a bit of a challenge for Nigerians who are...
I don't comment on rumor.
No.
On assumptions.
It's not just rumors, it's allegations.
Is that what you want me to be responding to that?
No, but it's allegations.
By who? From who?
From Rotimi Amechi, for instance.
Who is Rotimi Amechi? Rotimi Amechi. So...
You don't think their
somebody
take on the neutrality of INEC matters?
Excuse me. Rotimi Amechi is a politician. And he has now decided to go to the other side. So you want me to take somebody who said he hates money? Or you want me to take him serious? Somebody who has said many things that are found to be lies? So he's a politician. He has gone to the other side. You don't expect him to say. It's his job to raise doors, to make allegations, to create sensation. That is the job of a politician.
So this administration, you are categorically telling Nigerians, will never put its thumb on the scale to favor the APC in 2027.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, because the allegation is that the INEC is now under the thumb of the administration in such a way that elections will not be free, no fair,
How do you say election that has not taking place will not be free and fair. How do you say that? Do you have a clairvoyance? Are you omnipotent?
So one of the obvious allegations is that no new party has been registered since 2018.
So what are the criteria for registering a political party?
The criteria is everything starts and ends within 30 days.
And
there's 126 applications that so far has been made public.
Hold on. You can't be on here regurgitating allegations that have no substance.
No,
that's not your job.
They're not just allegations.
It's not your job it's not a fact.
INEC has not registered a single party since 2018.
Has any of them gone to INEC and they have met all the criteria for being registered as a party?
So do you know if they have not met the criteria?
If they have, INEC will have registered. I think INEC actually even published an advertorial that I read in your paper this week or last week, stating the guidelines. So if they had met it, will INEC put an advertorial in the newspapers? So
allegations and nothing more, as far as I'm concerned.
These are ridiculous, and I don't expect you to be giving here time to senseless allegations.
You have to reflect people's opinion.
Whose people?
Anybody.
Who?
I mean, I will reflect your opinion the next day I speak with anybody on the other side.
Reflecting opinion is expressing an opinion is different from making false allegation.
You're the one who is saying false allegations.
Because INEC said it.
Right.
INEC said it. INEC had to advertise its rules and guidelines. If we, after this session, if you can go to your library, either last week or this week, I saw that advert in the dailies. And I think that INEC gave that advert to your paper, your sister media outfit, Daily Trust.
They actually just released the portal for the registration.
So do you think INEC will be publishing guidelines if they have all met? See, excuse me.
Interestingly, you're holding brief for INEC, and I'm not sure.
Why should I hold brief for INEC?
Right.
But I'm referring to advertorial of INEC that I saw in mass media.
Okay. All right. Interesting conversation, spirited as always, Mr. Temitope Ajayi. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. I appreciate you very much for stopping by on Daily Politics.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Coming up next, we switch gears and talk about safety and security in the Federal Capital Territory and how the recent developments with the FCTA is raising eyebrows in some quarters. More on that after the break.